You might be wondering about the title of this episode, Old People Gone Wild. It was suggested to me by John, who has a wry sense of humor. He said both he and Christy were pretty old when they began working on their house here at Sailboat Cove. Actually, they were in their mid-40s when they started building almost 19 years ago. Upon landing on the beach at Sailboat Cove and taking the ramp up the cliff to the house, I was impressed by the sheer amount of hard work and manual labor John and Christy have expended in building their home at Sailboat Cove. After spending a spring and fall clearing the house site, construction began in 1999 while they lived aboard their sailboat Camille here in the cove. The first building constructed was the banya, the Alaskan equivalent to a sauna. It contained a wood stove, a bathtub, and a hot water heater. Later, the building was extended and converted to storage. The same year, 1999, John and Christy began building the house, which was initially constructed in a chalet style. With the building site situated on the cliff above the beach, a tall vertical guide pole was dug into the slope above the site. Then, using a chainsaw winch and blocks rigged to large spruces overlooking the cliff face, similar in manner to the blocks currently rigged in the trees for the skiff's running line, they were able to haul the building supplies off the beach. In 2000, construction was completed on the ramp up the cliff using purchased old dock timbers and spruce logs from the property. Prior to the construction of the ramp, a friend related to me how she watched amazed as Christy clambered up this root staircase with a basket full of clean laundry. With the construction of the ramp and the purchase of the first DR power wagon, transport of supplies and building materials vastly improved life at Sailboat Cove. There are now 2 power wagons in use here, our buggies, as John and Christy call them. They are used almost daily, transporting anything bulky, including our luggage, firewood, groceries, tools, and double as a table when cleaning fish. The buggies are powered with a small gasoline engine and are extremely rugged, but with the heavy use around saltwater, the frames eventually deteriorate, and they are now on their 4th buggy. Over the years, additions have been made to the original house. A butler's pantry has been added, along with a living dining room from which I have this fabulous view as I edit this video. The current project is the installation of a very modern-looking kitchen. Christy built these gorgeous cabinets utilizing facings for the cabinets made from cedar logs found beachcombing on Spruce Island and milled by a friend. The trim is made from local spruce. She explained to me how she considered the patterns and coloring in the wood grain to make the door and drawer fronts harmonious. The overhead cabinets that she created are a work of art, and the joinery is perfect. The overall effect is very pleasing. Once the kitchen is completed, it will be a pleasure working at the sink with such a view. In the meantime, it is a novelty to cook on the stove outside the back door and enjoy the occasional visitor. The odd coloring on this fox is due to the introduction of the silver fox to the island in the 1920s by the fur industry when silver fox was fashionable. When the color fell out of favor, the foxes were turned loose and interbred with the local red fox. Now, island foxes sport coat colors that run the gamut from silver to red. The Cove is a 4-hour hike from the nearest road, or 3 hours by sailboat to Kodiak, and trips into town are infrequent. A large proportion of the food we enjoy here is self-produced. Christy oversees a large garden which supplies all the house vegetables, and sometimes she sells vegetables in Usinki, the village across the strait on Spruce Island. Additionally, there is a greenhouse above the garden, and beyond the barn there is a large hoop house that together house a combined total of approximately 150 dwarf fruit trees of plum, pluot, cherries, apples, and pears. Some trees have more than one variety grafted. For example, there are 80 varieties of apples. The multiple varieties ensure a steady stream of summer fruit. John and Christy are also pursuing the sale of their homegrown fruit trees at the local hardware store in Kodiak. The greenhouse and hoop house are also great for starting vegetable seedlings and getting an early start on the short growing season. Now that you've had a glimpse of the essence of Sailboat Cove, what have we been up to, and what do we think about this wild land called Alaska? We will share some of our activities and thoughts about that subject in the next video. So, until then,